like maybe I should be like that, you know. But I know that that's not me. I know that in a professional setting I'm not going to be going, I'm not arguing with nobody but my man. I don't care what nobody says. Hi everyone, I'm Yourfavnurseb. I want to introduce you all to our new series, which is how to be a good nurse. Now the first video was delegation, which if you haven't seen it, make sure you go check it out. In this video, I'm going to talk about something that is so important. All of this is important. You know, I always say this is so important, but this is really paramount, especially for new nurses that are people who are transitioning. Say maybe you only did like home health and now you're going into a facility, and you really want to make sure that you hone in on this skill so that you can be a good nurse. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out the Yourfavnurseb Facebook group where we talk about nursing school, CNAs, our experiences at work, all that good stuff. And then also you can ask me questions on there and each other questions. Also, I want you all to subscribe if you haven't already. I do a lot of videos on CNAs, nursing school tips, just my experiences, as much information I can give you all to become better nurses, better individuals. I put it out there as much as I can. You all in return give me such great feedback and comments, and you give me your own opinion even if you don't agree with me. Like, I just enjoy, you know, the back and forth discourse that we have. So thank you all for joining my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and also share this video with someone who you think it'd be helpful for. So as far as being a good leader, when it comes to being a good nurse, the thing is if you're a nurse, you're more than likely going to be in a leadership position, supervisor position, managerial position. You are the nurse. So in a lot of cases, there's going to be somebody or individuals underneath you per se. So what's most important is, the first thing is to make sure that you figure out what your style is as far as leadership. Now, we learned in nursing school that there's so many different styles of leaders. I talked about this in another video briefly, but first I want you to think about when you had a boss, like a really good boss, like you love this boss, oh my goodness, you love them. What was it about that boss that you really loved? What were like the key things about that boss that you loved? Were they fun? Were they team players? Were they did they listen to you? Were they understanding, you know, or did they just let you do whatever you wanted to do, and so that made them a great boss? Think about that boss, and what about that person, those key characteristics about that person made them a good boss. And then once you know that, then you can kind of incorporate that into how you're going to lead others, or you can use certain things from that person to help you to be a good leader. Because if you thought it was good, more than likely other people thought that that person was a good leader as well. And then if you can't think of a good boss that you had, think about a boss that you just hated. Like, oh my goodness, I cannot stand this person. Like, I'm so ready to leave this job. What was it about that person that you didn't like? And then once you look at what you didn't like about that person, or not necessarily the person, or think about what they actually did. Don't think about like personal things. Think about things that they did pertaining to the job that you did not like. Were they unfair? Did they seem to be kind of fickle? Like one day they're cool, and the next day you see them, they're like going off on you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. It's some people where they're really cool one day, and then it's like you never know who you're gonna get when you talk to them. So you just kind of feel like, okay, I don't even want to talk to this person. So there's a lot of bosses out there like that. I don't know why. I guess it's just the stress. I don't know. But think about what you didn't like about that person, and then try to see how you can take the things that you didn't like, and then how you can turn them around and make them better. So if you didn't like that a boss was unfair, like they clearly showed favoritism, then you know, as a leader, you want to be a fair leader. You want to be a leader who looks at all different sides of the situation and makes the best decision. So you get how you can use past bosses and past experiences at jobs, and to incorporate that into how you want to be as a leader, and that will lead you into being a better leader for your team. Now, secondly is that I want you to it's just really hard, especially for new nurses. When you come in, if you're maybe timid or you really don't know the job that well, you might find yourself taking on the leadership role of either that company or taking on the leadership role of a more strong, vocal, seasoned nurse. And this nurse may not fit in with how you are as a leader. This nurse might be really aggressive, abrasive. Some people might see them as mean, or this nurse might be more relaxed, more chill. They really don't lead that well. So you might kind of take on that form of that person because you are a new nurse, because you do feel like, okay, well, you know, I really don't know where I stand. Like, okay, let me just do it the way she do it, because, you know, I really don't know how to lead people. And it's nothing wrong with that, but just know that if you go into the situation knowing how you are as a nurse and how you want to be as a nurse, how you want to be as a leader, you won't be so absorbed and you won't take on so many bad habits of other nurses. You'll come in with more conviction of like, this is how I want to be. Even though she's a nurse and, you know, I think she's a great nurse, but she's always on her phone, or she kind of talks crazy to some of the CNAs. I don't want to be like that. This is the type of leader I want to be. And I want to make sure that I focus on what type of leader I want to be. So don't take on somebody else's like leadership way. Yeah, don't take on their way, because I've been around a lot of nurses and new nurses. I've been around a lot of nurses that will curse at aides, will go back and forth with them, and I felt like, oh, the aides really respect them, because when she's around, like, they listen to what she has to say. Like, maybe I should be like that, you know. But I know that that's not me. I know that in a professional setting, I'm not going to be going, I'm not arguing with nobody but my man. I don't care what nobody says. I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't like to go back and forth with people in a professional, like, it's just certain things that you don't do. It's just not me. I'm not that type. It's not that serious. Like, I'm not gonna argue with you. Either you do it or you don't, but we're not gonna have, no, that's that back and forth yelling, and it's not gonna happen. So if I were to go into that realm and be like that with my CNAs, then it's not me. So it's not going to be genuine. It's not going to be taken well. It's just not the type of person that I am. So definitely go into the setting knowing how you want to be. You might not be there yet, but just know where you want to be, how you want to be as a leader, and it will really, really help you and propel you into being a better nurse. I'm telling you, it will. Don't take on how you see other nurses act. Don't do it. You focus on what you want to do and how you see yourself. When you were in nursing school, when you were a CNA, how you wanted to be seen, how you wanted people to look at you, how you wanted people to talk about you. Oh yeah, I like working with Nurse B. You know, she's really cool. She real down to earth. Like, that's what I wanted people to say. Or, you know, I like working with her. Like, she don't play no games. She gets her work done. Like, I like working with her. She's organized. Like, that's the things that you want to hear people say about you. And it's not about a popularity contest, you know. So a lot of times you're not going to be popular. You're not going to be, you know, liked, but you are going to be respected. You're going to respect me, okay? So that's sometimes what it comes down to as a nurse, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, your patient comes first, and that's further all in the video. But my next suggestion is to help you as far as like learning out your leadership role is to think about how you want to be led. You know, think about how you want your supervisor to come to you with criticism. Do you want your supervisor to criticize you in front of everybody? No. There was one saying that that I learned in school. We had actually a leadership class, and he said that you criticize in private and you praise in public. So if you have an issue, and this is something that I really, really have to think about and really have to start incorporating into my nursing style, is to not criticize people in front of other aides. So sometimes a situation like, let's see, I had a situation where a CNA, it was time for dinner, and she decided to leave one of her patients in bed. The family came in and was like, you know, why is my mom not up? And I asked her, I said, did you get such, we were in the dining room, you know, and I said, did you get such and such up? She's like, no. I said, well, you know, her son really wants you to go get her up. Like, you shouldn't have never left her in the bed. Oh, I forgot. And she kind of like took her time and do it. And then the CNA told me like she didn't forget, like she just wasn't gonna get her up. And so I'm thinking like, really, girl? But anyways, in that situation, I didn't have to come to her in front of everybody. I could be like, hey, come here real quick. Did you forget to get such and such? Or did you know her, she's in the room. You need to get her up. Don't do it in front of everybody, because it kind of, people, Y'all know what I'm talking about. Some people, when you come to them a certain way in front of everybody, like they feel like they gotta puff up and be like, well, I ain't about to do this and da 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 da. They gotta puff up. But if you take the time to be like, hey, come here real quick, I need to ask you something, that is you and that person. They don't have an audience. They don't have to puff up. They don't have to feel like, oh, I gotta defend myself, or I can't look this certain way in front of the A's, da da da. It's just you and that person. But when it comes to you saying, you know what, you did so good with such and such, or you handled this situation so well, or you know what, you were such a great A, like I love working with you. Say that in front of everybody. Praise them in front of everybody. Some people are led by that. Some people like to have just some type of praise, some type of recognition. Some people don't care about it. But that CNA that you're telling that to, even if they don't care about it, the other CNAs be like, dang, like, I'm here too. I'm a good aide too. Like, she ain't gonna say nothing about me. And then that makes them want to do more. That makes them want to, you know, show like, okay, let me get myself together. I'm telling you, it works. And plus, you know, it's important to show your aides that you appreciate them, I mean, because when you have good aides, your night can go so good, your day can go so good. But when they bad, honey, it's rough. So make sure that you praise your CNAs, because they don't hear it a lot. You know, they don't feel like they're always being appreciated. They don't feel like, you know, people care, people see what they're doing. They don't always feel that way. As an ex-CNA, I'm telling you, praise your CNAs in public. And then also, if you have a time where you have to reprimand them, or you have to get on some type of criticism or some type of critiques, do it in private. That's nobody else's business. If the aide wants to come out of that meeting that you had with them upset or whatever and be like, you know what, girl, she tried to write me up for this, or you know, she went off on me about this, or she told me about this, like, girl, let the CNA tell it to somebody else. You don't want to be that nurse who's telling other CNAs like, oh, this girl get on my nerves. I am your fave nurse B is guilty of it, y'all, because I used to be a CNA, so I still have CNAs who I'm friends with and we still talk. But at the end of the day, you have to maintain professionalism, so it is something that I'm working on. But sometimes I be getting upset, y'all. But definitely, this is a journey for all of us, so I'm just giving you all the advice that I can give you, and I'm still using this advice myself, or at least trying to. So the next step is to incorporate your team in your decision making, but remember that the final decision is your decision. So if there's something that's going on the floor, you say, hey, what do y'all think about this? How you think we could do this better? Or what type of things do you think we should do to make it so that we can all get into the dining room on time? You know, or what can we do to make it so da 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 da? Take into consideration from your aides, but you make that final decision. You might have one aide say this, one aide say this, and da da da. But at the end of the day, okay, I know everybody feels a certain way about the situation, but this is what we're gonna do. And stay firm on it. Don't let this loud and boisterous CNA persuade you to do something else, or don't let, you know, just don't let emotions get involved. You look at everybody's situation and then you come up with your best conclusion as a charge nurse, because remember, you are the charge nurse. You are the one that's in charge, and it all comes down to you. So you take on that burden and you just, hey, I'm gonna take one for the team. If it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well. If it goes right, okay, you made the decision, you did what you had to do. So just think about it. You know, when, say, like corporate or those department heads make it a decision and they never consult the nurses, never get anybody's feedback or anything, and they come to you and say, this is the new policy. You're like, what the heck? Like, y'all don't even work, y'all don't even do the type of work that we do. How do you all know that this is gonna work out? Like, y'all didn't even get our opinion on this. How dare y'all tell us how we gonna do something, and y'all didn't even get our opinion on it? Like, this is, y'all never even worked in this type of field. Like, y'all never even did what I'm doing, or you all aren't doing it now. So how are you gonna tell me what's best way to do my job? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's kind of how the CNAs might feel in some situations. Like, so that's why it's really good to get the advice or just get the opinion of your team. And it's been so many times where I've listened to what CNAs had to say and they were right. Like, they're people, they're smart. Like, they work with the patients, or they've done the work, or they work with other CNAs. Like, they've done the time, like they've seen things, like they know a lot of stuff too. So definitely use your team as a resource in helping you to be a better nurse. And, you know, don't discount anybody because they're a CNA. Don't do it. You would be stupid to do that, because like I said, they're smart, they know what they're talking about. Just listen to them, and that will make them feel like, you know what, this nurse values my opinion. This nurse is listening to us, because I'm telling you, so many CNAs feel like they do not have an advocate. They feel like they're just out here on their own, and it's just the CNAs against everybody. Like everybody against them, and they just feel like they don't have any control, like everybody just telling them what to do. I'm telling you, that's how a lot of them feel. So if you as a nurse steps in and says, hey, what do you think about this? That will make them feel like, you know what, like, okay, like I'm valued. My opinion is valued. They care about how I think, and, you know, they care about my workload or something like that. Like, listen to what everybody has to say, you know. But at the end of the day, it's your decision. You are the charge nurse. So don't just say, yeah, I do it. I'm not messing with it. Yeah, I do it. That puts way too much power on your CNAs, and then you have that's a whole nother video, y'all. That's a whole nother video. My next thing to know is that you have to really choose your battles. You don't want to be that leader who micromanages, who says, can you give such and such a shower? All right, thanks. And then you're like, oh, make sure that you use these type of towels, and that you only put 2 pumps of soap in there, and then make sure that you, no, that's called micromanaging. I know some people not that extreme, but micromanaging is like being over people, like saying, oh, do this, do that, like all the details. Look, as long as she gets a shower, I'm fine. Like, do it however you're gonna do it safe, do it with dignity. But look, I'm not, just do it for me, okay? Can you just do it? You don't have to nitpick on people, you know. Sometimes people, when they're leading other people, they feel the need to just be on top of people so much. You have to realize this person is an adult. In order for your CNAs to be empowered, in order for you to empower your team, you have to give them responsibilities. Hey, it's your duty to do this today. Can you take care of that for me? I need you to make sure this and this gets done today. I need you to really do that. Or tonight, we're gonna have a safe night. Everybody's gonna be safe. There's gonna be no falls. I need you all to make sure you're checking your patients. Empower your team. If you don't empower your team, if you don't put responsibilities on your CNAs, if you don't make them accountable for things, you are gonna be doing your work and the work of about 5 other people, because it's always going to be, well, go talk to the nurse, or I don't know. And no, you know what to do. Like, it's sometimes where a CNA be like, can you call down for this? I be like, no, you can call down for it. I don't have to call down for it. Like, or can you call maintenance? Just dial 0 and just let them know. Like, you don't have to come to me for everything. Now, I know it's some situations where CNAs feel like, okay, the nurse will do it better, but look, it's sometimes where it's like, girl, you can do it. Like, you just don't want to do it. Like, go talk to the nurse. I don't know. Like, no, you can do it. You can do it. Otherwise, like I said, you're going to be doing their job. So another thing is, be a team player. Like, you have to be a team player. And that's what I'm going to talk about in my next video about this series about being a good nurse. But as a leader, you have to be willing to get in there and do what you have to do to lead your team physically. I'm telling you, sometimes it comes down to you just doing it. Lead by example. That's something that I feel like is like my mantra as a nurse. It's like, I had to lead by example. This and this not getting done. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you that I can do your job and my job, and I can do it very well. Okay, with a smile on my face. And I know this kind of seems like, girl, like really, but that's like my thing. I feel like, you know, you have to just show people like, yeah, this job is hard. Yes, it's stressful, but look, we can do it, and we can do it we can be a team and get it done. And like I said, I'll talk about it in another video, but sometimes you just got to show them better than you can tell them when it comes to being a leader. But don't become that nurse who's doing everybody's freaking job. You're never going to get any work done. I'm telling you, you have to delegate. And that's why I talked about it in my other video. You have to delegate. You really have to choose your battles. You know, some nights you're going to feel like the CNA did like 20 things wrong. Don't go over those 20 things. Just find a few of those things you want to emphasize and go from there, because otherwise that person's gonna feel like they can't do anything right. Like, you picking on them. Like, it's just like, girl, like, get off my back. You're like on me about everything I'm doing. Like, I might as well not even do nothing. Just be like, just find a few things or one thing to talk about that night and be like, hey, you need to make sure you do this. And then the next time you see them, you need to make sure you do this. But I'm telling y'all, sometimes some people are just so far gone, you just feel like, oh, it's just too much. Like, I'm tired. I'm just tired of being that nurse that does the right thing, that nurse that is trying to be a good leader, that nurse that's, you know, it's hard to talk to people. It's hard to be a good leader. It's hard to because when you're dealing with employees, you're dealing with them as a human, the emotional side, and then you're also dealing with the work at hand that needs to be done, and you have to balance both of those things. So I do want to end the video with letting you all know that at the end of the day, the patient comes first. And if there's a time when you're, you know, leading your team and You might have a lot of pushback. You might be going into a situation where the CNAs have ran the building. They are the ones in charge. They tell the nurses what they are going to do and not going to do. And you just feel like it's a fight. It's a battle. Every time I come to work, we got to fight. Every time I come to work, like, let's... You might feel that way sometimes, you know, but remember that the patient comes first in a situation. So if you don't know if you should say something to an aide or not, or should you even point it out, should you even, you know, write that person up, if it comes down to your patient not having dignity, not being safe, you know, not being cared for the best way that they can be, you have to say something about it. You have to do something about it. It's your job. That is 100% part of your job, is to lead people and to make sure that things are being done for your patient. It's your job regardless of the fact if this is your friend, if you are afraid of this person, if this person is aggressive, or if you think this person is a good aide, they just had a bad night. It's still your responsibility to lead that person. It's to make sure that your patient is getting taken care of. So I want to leave you all with that. And you know, this is something that I'm working on myself. I wrote down like a whole list of all this stuff I want to do, and one of the things is I really want to be a better leader. And I do find myself getting more just having more of my voice as a nurse. I've been a nurse for 3 years, but you all, this takes time. It takes time for you to know, you know, when to say stuff, how to say things, how to talk to people, how to deal with different personalities, and how to handle your emotions while dealing with different personalities, and how to handle their crazy emotions, because it can get crazy, y'all. But focus on your patient. Think about that nurse that you want to be, and let that be what leads you, and pray. Thanks for watching, you all. Make sure you go check out my second channel, Stay Forever True. I have mommy videos, vegan, vegetarian videos, hair videos, all that good stuff on that channel. Also follow me on Instagram and Snapchat, and also on our Yourfavnurseb Facebook group. Thank you all for watching. I have a question for you all. I want to know what are some things that you feel like makes a great leader, and then what are some things or situations that you had that you was like, this person sucks as a nurse. I think they're a horrible leader.